Sometimes you may find yourself working with very large files of your Excel spreadsheet, um, and as you do that, you may wish at certain times to make sure that certain parts or sections of your spreadsheets are always visible as you scroll down your work. So to do that, you do what is called freezing. You can freeze pens, P-A-N-E-S, or sections of your spreadsheet. So in this case, for example, I have the top row here in blue. As I scroll down, you see that it disappears, but I can choose to make sure that it always appears as I scroll down, because sometimes you may have hundreds or even thousands of rows down there as you scroll. So to do that, you simply come here on the numbers, the row numbers. You click on the row which is immediately after the row that you want to always be visible. So when you click there and then you go to the view tab, and you check for freeze pens. So I will click here like that, and now as I scroll, you see that the one here is always there. It's not scrolling up, it's not disappearing. And you can do this, so I'll just undo this. Now if I unfreeze, for example, the pens, you go to freeze and unfreeze, you see that as I scroll it disappears. Now you can choose to freeze for example as many as you want. For example, if I want the top 5 to be frozen, top 5 rows to be frozen there, so I've selected those top 5 there. So it means that I'll have to click on the row number 6 here, which is after the 5, the first 5. So when I click on this one, I go back to the view tab here, and then I say freeze pens right here. So when I do that, as I scroll, you see that the first 5 are always visible there. These first 5 are not scrolling. As I scroll down, they're always visible up there. Now this is important because sometimes you may, for example, want to say you may want to compare how the first 5, it could be products, or they could be products, yeah. You may want to check how the rest of the products are faring, or they compare with the top 5 products there. So this is basically how you freeze the rows. So as you scroll down, you can check the information. You can make sure that the information at the top is always visible so that you can make comparisons. So to unfreeze, you simply go back to the view, which is where I am already, and freeze pens, then unfreeze pens. So if I do that now, as I scroll, you find that they all scroll up like that. So you can also actually freeze the first column. Like in this case, if I want to freeze the first column, you can simply go back to the freeze pens and then select freeze first column like that. So this one has been frozen, and if I come here and scroll, as I scroll this way, find that this first column, the segment column, is always consistent. It does not go away. It's not disappearing there. So you can do that. So I'll just go back and unfreeze the pen. Sometimes also you may want to freeze both. You may want the top part and the columns, the rows and the columns at the same time. So to do that, for example, this is what you do. I'll come in this cell here, which is a C6. If I click here and I go to freeze pens, what it means that all the columns that are on the left of this cell, on the left side of this cell, will be frozen, and all the rows which are above this cell will be frozen. So in this case, we have up to row number 5, and we have A, B as columns. So if I click here and I go to freeze pens like that, find that as I scroll down, you'll see that these remain consistent. They're always visible there. Even as I scroll horizontally, you see that the first 2 columns are consistent, column A and B, which is segment and country. They don't disappear. So you can freeze both. So let me just unfreeze this. You can freeze both the top part and the section. The secret to do that is you just simply, when you click in a particular cell, in this case, if I click in this cell, it means everything that is to the left of this cell will be frozen and everything above it will be frozen. If I come here, the same applies. So simply, in simple terms, this is how you actually get to freeze pens or sections of your spreadsheet.